Greetings, I am CrossKnights, and this is my 5,000 subscriber video. What a freaking landmark! That's crazy. I don't even know when I would do a next one of these, because it's crazy. Like I'm gaining like an average of like 18 people a day now, which is insane. So, thank you everyone who has decided to subscribe and watch my videos, and this is just going to be a question and answer session of questions that were already asked on a previous announcement video like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I'm actually recording this right now. I need about 150 more subscribers, I think, but I just need to get a jump on this. So I don't know what I have playing in the background. Hopefully it's something as opposed to nothing. But here we go. And for people who don't know, I have dyslexia, and reading proper names is probably the worst thing for me. So I'm going to butcher everyone's name who is not, like, obvious to me, like a name that I've seen before. That's just par for the course. So the first question, I think that's just, like, EJR self. I don't know if you're supposed to say that or if that's, like, initials that are for some reason not capitalized. Is your real name CrossKnights? And if not, what is it? Oh, that would be amazing if my real name was CrossKnights. I believe Knights is an actual surname somewhere, but I don't know if there's anyone named Cross. And I really doubt there's anyone named CrossKnights. But yes, it is Adam, as people did mention in the comments. People are like, you should have watched the other question and answer video, but like, I didn't expect anyone to... Like, I don't expect new people to go back, because those other question and answer videos together are a few hours long. Like, why ask the question? One of the most common damn names you can have. See, compact fruit. I like to think of Cross as a grumpy group of knights. It's not a question, but wait, what? Why am I an entire group of knights? I don't know. Mick D-Man, 21. What has been the most enjoyable Let's Play you have done? I know someone else asked a similar question later. Evil Genius is very high up there. That Let's Play was amazing. I had a lot of fun doing it. There's a lot of creativity involved. Oddly enough, and this one kind of just came and went without a lot of fanfare, but Limbo, the indie side-scrolling platformer with very simple mechanics, is basically just moving and jumping. Incredibly fun, mainly because I did it blind, but there weren't like puzzles that were so hard that I was just like, oh, why'd I do this blind? But the reason I had to do it blind is because there were death traps, and if you know where the death traps are, it's not nearly as amusing when you just randomly get killed by them with a general act of surprise. And also, sometimes you dodge the death traps the first time, and then you feel amazing. So that's also good to capture. But yeah, if I'm not lazy, there's going to be annotations to things that I mentioned, but maybe there's an annotation to Limbo right now. If you're so inclined, check it out, because I had a lot of fun making it. I don't know. I had a lot less subscribers then. I don't know how many people said it. It might have actually just been lost to time. Zachary Garnett, I believe that says, have you watched World War Z? If you haven't, you shouldn't. I've got to be honest about this. I went to see the Superman movie, I think? No. It was a Star Trek movie, yes. And they played a trailer for World War Z, and I did not like that trailer. I did not even know that it was a... If I didn't know what World War Z was, I wouldn't have known that it was a zombie movie. I would have thought it was a generic disaster movie. So the trailer was absolutely terrible. I've heard good things about the book. I've also heard that the movie has next to nothing to do with the book. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to see it. And here's another weird confession. I'm not a huge fan of zombie movies, and despite the fact that I like zombies as a concept, and I like a lot of zombie video games, I don't like disaster movies, and a lot of times zombie movies do just end up being disaster movies. There are some notable exceptions. Zombieland is an amazing movie. I also like Shaun of the Dead, but not as much as Zombieland. That might be contentious, but Zombieland, I loved it, because that was just almost like a crazy action movie with zombies in it. But some of the more serious ones, I mean, I didn't hate 28 Days Later. I watched it. I'd say it was a good movie. I can't say it was all that memorable. And plus, there's debate whether that's really zombies, because they're really just pissed off humans. Like, if you slice their finger off, they would bleed to death. They weren't dead. I think they could probably starve to death. They should have just waited a few weeks. It probably would have been fine. Alright, the Drunk Archangel. Hey, Cross, you seem to be getting subscribers fast. When do you think you're going to peak at subscribers and start getting new ones? Never mind, that's depressing. Haha, too late, I'm answering it. Never mind, that's depressing. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I think a woodchuck could chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. I made this comment as hard to say as possible. Ha! I almost got through that perfectly because that's actually something I used to say as a kid, so I didn't even read what you said. I just said it from memory, so take that. That being said, I'm going to answer your question. I have thought about that. Eventually, if I don't start getting, like, more, like, bigger videos, like, ones that do really well, possibly by getting a new Flash game or something, eventually I probably will level off. It's hard to say, though. If that happens, it happens. I'm already pretty damn high up there. But I have no idea. I mean, I've actually been thinking about, like, when should I do the net subscriber video? Should I do it at 10,000 subscribers? That would make sense. Projection-wise says that'll happen in, what is it, like 10 months, supposedly, if I kept the current growth rate. But if my growth rate increases, it could be even less than that. So I was thinking 15,000, but I might never reach 15,000, which is fine. So I don't know. I haven't thought about it too much, but, you know, if it happens, it happens. There's no way to tell with these things. For all I know, my channel could get deleted tomorrow, because that's just the nature of LPing, even though they're kind of protected. I actually saw a thing today on, apparently, like, gaming channels are pretty much ruling YouTube right now. So you gotta think YouTube has a vested interest in keeping them around, because gaming channels are making them more money than almost anything else. We'll see what happens. My channel probably won't get randomly deleted, but you never know. It's happened to some pretty popular people. Okay, YTube508, who, very long-time subscriber, as I remembered, and actually I know that he goes through and watches my older stuff because he comments on it, which is cool. What is your favorite game you've LP'd? That was a question that was already asked similarly. So yeah, Evil Genius, Limbo. I'm sure there are some other ones. I want to say Ghostmaster also, but in a way, no, because there was a lot of behind-the-scenes crap to even get ready for that. That's why I released the first episode, and then I didn't make another one for 2 months, because a lot of crap happened with that thing. Oh, I ran into major problems. FTL I still have fun with. Scribblenauts, the first few episodes were so goddamn fun. And I'm still having fun with it, but it's not just, like, crazy, ridiculous fun. Now I'm just like, there's a lot of things that I've typed in and I haven't actually been able to create, and I'm like, oh. And the actual gameplay is extremely simple. It's like, parts of me just want to, like, screw around with that game and not even play it. Just be like, screw the star, right? My sister will be fine. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of other ones that I can't even think of right now, because now, at this point, I've played, like, probably, like, 60 games on this channel over the last... By the way, it's almost been 3 years since I started this, so yeah. I think it's November 13th is the anniversary of the channel, so November 13th it'll have been 3 years since I started this, which is insane. Alright, The Majestic Rebel. Do you absolutely love Steam, or are there some things you wish you could change about Steam? Oh yes, I do love Steam. It's amazing, the sales are amazing. The biggest thing is the convenience is amazing, and that's really what sells the damn thing. But of course, and people complain about DRM, digital rights management, limiting people to prevent pirates and stuff. Steam has digital rights management. You cannot play it unless you are connected online, or at the very least, like, there's certain things you can do for online mode, but it's a little bit cagey. But in certain cases, if your internet goes out, guess what? None of your games are accessible. That's a problem. It's concerning, because that's the way that games are going, but Steam did it in a way that basically slipped it by gamers, and they don't really care that much. You go to a site like Good Old Games, there's no DRM there. You can just download the games on your computer. The internet could blow up tomorrow. You'd still be able to play your damn games as long as they're on your computer. But it's not quite as convenient. I don't know. That's the... If there was somehow a DRM-free thing, or at the very least, you didn't need to be online to play certain games, I would definitely like it better. Alright, games for knobs. Cross, what games are you going to do in the future? Also, did you hear the people who made Evil Genius are working on a second one? Yes, I have heard that. I've heard that for the last 3 years, and I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, first of all, I don't know what you mean by the people who made the game, because the company that made the game is no longer existing. I'm sure someone has the license, but I'd be very surprised if any of the original team worked on a new Evil Genius game. The guy who spearheaded it was an AI developer, and he left gaming entirely after the company went down to make I believe, like, robots and crap. So there's no way he's doing it. So again, I would love it. I mean, I heard the same thing about Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, and I've heard that for even longer than Evil Genius. Again, I'll believe it when I see it. So, I would love that. Like, Evil Genius is one of my favorite games. And there's almost no game that's really perfectly captured that game. Dungeon Keeper, I understand, is similar. I haven't really played it. But Evil Genius is just special. Like, it just has something that just puts it apart from all of the competitors. So I'd love to see a new one, but I'm just repeating myself because I don't want to get my hopes up. Let's just put it that way. All right, the surfing leper. This is unlikely what that says. Was it hard growing up with dyslexia? Yeah, the main problem with not being able to read or spell, and note, is there's a lot of times, like, unless I reach a proper name, you couldn't even tell that I had difficulty reading, because it's gotten so much better. But as a kid, I was pretty damn illiterate for a very long time, like, up until definitely middle school even. Like, I had a massive amount of time reading anything. Reading out loud was pretty much impossible because of the way I had to decode sentences. So because of that, basically the effect was that it made school 2 to 3 times harder than it was for probably people that didn't have dyslexia, unless it was like math. Unless it was a written math problem, then I had the problem again. Writing was an absolute nightmare for me. It was just so freaking hard. Reading books, if I had to sign to read a book, I was screwed. But my mother would usually read them to me, so I got around it that way. Which sucks, because my comprehension has always been high. It was actually above average when I was younger. My vocabulary was way above average when I was younger. But I couldn't express myself in writing. I could speak well, but generally most of schooling is not judged on speaking well, it's judged on writing things. And you gotta remember, back when I was a kid, there weren't computers with spell check. So I had to write this crap out by hand, and it was a nightmare. Then as I got older, I mean, just the idea of, like, filling out an application was a nightmare. I applied for, like, this summertime dishwashing job, and I'm convinced I didn't get it because they handed me this surprised questionnaire, and I doubt they could read the damn thing. Because, oh my god, it was just so hard. So yeah, that was the main thing. It still affects me, but not nearly as much as when I was a kid, because I've developed a bunch of systems so that I can read now pretty much fine, as is evidenced by when I'm doing my RPGs. And spelling is mostly mitigated by spell check, but it hasn't gotten all that much better, as I can tell by scribble nods. Alright, Super R Gamer, who I met in Die Tonight all those ages ago. How much money did you spend on the Steam sale? Now, there's one more day of the Steam sale as I'm recording this, but if I don't spend any more money, it will be $27, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot for me to spend in a few weeks. Usually, I try to keep my video game spending habits under $10 a month. If I find another game, I might buy it. It's like, why not just make it an even 30? Why the hell not? But yeah, so I didn't go too crazy, but I got like 8 new games. That's pretty damn good for that price. And a few people actually helped me out with games, which is pretty nice, because I put them on my wish list just so I could, like, track any game that I wanted that was on sale, and a few of them went on sale, and a few people bought me some games that were on sale, which is amazing, so thank you for that. Alright, how excited... Oh, this is Demon Numbers. He's also been a long-time subscriber, if I remember correctly. Are you excited for Mirror's Edge? I don't know what you mean by that. Mirror's Edge is a game that came out at least 5 years ago, maybe longer? Probably longer, actually. Yeah, maybe even 7 years ago now. If you're asking that question, I'm going to assume that there's a new Mirror's Edge coming. And if that's the case, I know nothing about it, so sorry. I didn't really get too far in the first Mirror's Edge. I played it, but... you know, I didn't own it, so I didn't get a long chance to play it or anything. And back when I was thinking about getting it, my computer wouldn't have been able to run it, and that's the type of game I'd really want a controller with. So I haven't even really played the first Mirror's Edge, so it's hard for me to get excited if there is, in fact, a second Mirror's Edge. But it had good concepts. I mean, I used to do parkour in real life, so it was pretty cool that there's, like, a first-person parkour game. Okay, from Amzy Wamzy, I believe that says... Hey, is there any character in a video game that you've played that you've associated with yourself, perhaps due to their actions or backstory? Or maybe they remind you of someone you've met. Keep up the good work, thank you. I was thinking about this, in some ways, Faye, but I've complained about this a lot of times in Xenogears. There was problems with, like, translation. Like, they got all the nuts and bolts of the translation, but I can't help but feel that some of the essence and emotional content of the writing was just lost. I don't know, and I don't even know if I'd explain it. Just the fact that he has, like, these weird feelings inside of him that he couldn't really deal with or explain. I definitely identified that, because as a kid, like, I had a lot of just weird emotional outbursts that I couldn't deal with. And I can't say I'm 100% over that, but, you know, I think I deal with it as well as most adults, which is actually not nearly as well as many children seem to think that adults have. I know a lot of adults with very low emotional maturity. But the older you get, the easier it does seem to get, unless you're holding on to some crap. Cloud, but I would say Cloud, but only in like the last third of the game. But that's all I can say. I might be LPing that game. I probably will be, in fact. And that's, I mean, those are the only ones I can think of. Of course, RPG characters are going to have a higher likelihood of me identifying with them, simply due to the fact that characters in RPGs are more fleshed out. But, you know, that's all I can really think of. I mean, there's more characters in, like, comic books I'd more identify with, like Spider-Man. I love me some Spider-Man. The thing is, people... liking Spider-Man's, like, almost cliche just because he's so popular, but there's a damn reason he was popular. Like, if you read some of those comics in the 80s and 90s, they were amazingly good. I mean, it kind of warranted the fact that he had, like, 6 separate comics. Not really, though. I don't think anything warrants that. It's like the Amazing Spider-Man, the Spectacular Spider-Man, the Web of Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Spider-Man... I didn't just say Spider-Man twice. One of them was just called Spider-Man. Then there was, like, Spider-Man 2053 or something like that, which was dumb. But yeah, I identified with Spider-Man. He was awesome. Okay. This is from Dragon Ivan, I think, who's been posting on a lot of my videos recently, so that's cool. If you are ever in Texas, I'll buy you a beer, but perhaps I should know what kind of beer you drink first, so what's your favorite brew? Root beer. I'm sorry, I've never had a drink in my life. I'm realizing, like, the older you get, the weirder that statement is. Like, the younger you are, like, if you're young, like, say you're, like, 18, especially in America, it's not that weird for you not to have drank before. However, I'd be willing to bet, like, the majority of people have at least had a drink by the time they're 18. Again, I have to realize that one of the reasons I don't drink or do drugs is because I haven't done it before, and that just seems like it's part of my personality. It'd feel weird to, like, break a 30-year streak at this point, right? The other thing is that I have a huge fear of addiction. I don't like my body controlling me. I don't like the fact that I even have to eat. Like, if I could just never have to eat again, that would be amazing. Sleeping's not quite as annoying for me, but sure, if I didn't need to sleep, I'd get rid of that crap too. The idea, like, I have friends that are so addicted to cigarettes that it rules their goddamn life. Like, that's terrible! They're just sitting there like, oh, it's been 10 minutes, I need a cigarette. You know how much money that costs? You know how little I want to have desires for that? Like, it's the same thing with alcohol. Alcohol I'm also worried about because of the loss of control and the possible loss of memory loss. Like, there was a period where I was thinking about drinking, so I, like, hung out with my friends that drank and stuff, and I just basically watched them to see, like, you know what, is this actually something worth it? Every single time I did that, something ridiculous or completely undesirable would happen to one of my friends, and I would be like, this isn't for me. And after 3 times, I was just like, this is just like a freaking sign at this point. I'm definitely not going to do that. And that's really the last time I seriously considered drinking alcohol. The only reason I even considered it is because I was so socially awkward that I figured it would make it easier. And I've got to say, in the last 2 years, it's been so much easier for me to talk to people and just open up. So even that reason's just gone. And to level with people, if I was going to try a drug, it'd probably be pot before anything else. But I have a massive aversion to smoke of any kind. So, I can't even say that. So, even the one that I'd be most willing to try before anything else, I'll almost definitely, like, never try it. So that was a long-winded response to that. But yeah, if I ever come to Texas, root beer would be great. It's not actually as unlikely as it might sound, just because, apparently my half-brother lives in Texas now, which I didn't know until very recently. So, who knows? Okay, this is from... what is that? Pre-built slicer, I think that says. Why did you start recording? Now, incidentally, the question right above that says apples, and how did you start in Let's Playing? So that is from Terrence Ownard, also known as Terror Owns. So, basically, first of all, the first time I heard of, like, recording things was from Nintendo Capri Sun, because I still confess that he did LPs before LPs existed. Because he had a channel before Nintendo Capri Sun called Jealous Guy, where he would talk and, like, point his camera at the television. And that was, like, 2006, so I'm pretty sure that was the same year as LPing was invented, essentially, on Something Awful, but I could be wrong about that. And then I saw another Let's Player named I Like Being Smart, Because I had actually thought about doing it, but I was like, I'm not good enough. Like, most people who do this are probably amazing at games. She was not amazing at games. She was playing Yoshi's Island and kept on dying, and I realized that was way more amusing than if she had been doing well, so I figured I'd just jump in. Part of the reason I wanted to do it is because my job at the time, I was just very isolated. I didn't really see my friends too much, and I wasn't in school anymore. And if you don't talk, you actually get bad at talking. So I figured that if I was talking to myself even, I would get better at talking. It works so much better than I ever could have intended. I can actually talk to people in real life now vastly better than I could previously, because I just spend so much time talking. I spend every day talking, even if I'm not talking to anyone. It's also helped my reading out loud. I can now read out loud, whereas I couldn't before because of the RPG thing, which is even more amazing. So those are the two main reasons. I thought it'd be really fun. I tried it out with Yoshi's Island, and I had fun, and I just kept on doing it. I didn't really get any subscribers until I did Zombie Trailer Park, like a month into me LPing. That's when I got my first 30. And then people are actually watching. Not too many. I hardly got any comments still, but it was still pretty cool. And then I did Rebuild and a bunch of other things, and then I got 100 people, and that was even more, so it just kept on encouraging me to keep going. If I still only had like 100 subscribers, I probably wouldn't be taking it quite as seriously as I did, but I know I would still be doing it, because it was that fun. Alright, so, Mr. Shikaki. I think that says Mr. Shikaki. Are there any games that you enjoy, but for whatever reason you don't want to Let's Play? Yes, many, many point-and-clicks. Especially Alice is Dead. Go play Alice is Dead. There's 3 parts of it on Newgrounds. It's great. I love it. But it's a point-and-click. There's only like 1 or 2 solutions that actually have a variant to them. There is a right answer to it. It's not like a platformer where every single time someone jumps, they might do it slightly differently. They might fail it, they might succeed. Like, no, you either know the answer in this or you don't. So, I just can't play point-and-clicks. So in the same vein, the Hansel and Gretel Flash games, which are also amazingly good, and I'm not sure the 3rd part's ever going to come out, which is disappointing. But it took him over a year and a half to make the 2nd one, I think, which makes sense. That's a game that I feel like he could have released on Steam with the amount of detail that it was, maybe for even like 50 cents. Someone greenlight that crap. Machinarium, also a great game. Point and click, not going to play it. And then there is just some really, really long RPGs. Dragon Age Origins, one of the best RPGs ever made, I think. As far as, like, modern RPGs, yeah, definitely one of the best ones. Not going to play it. Massive game, tons of cutscenes, so I wouldn't even be playing that much. I'd be mainly listening to cutscenes. But it's amazing, and everyone should play it. It's great. Your actions actually do affect things. Also great. Combat system, amazingly good. I mean, you could just, like, level and level and level, and then it'll be easier, but if you're lower level, you can still win certain combats by placement of traps, positions of enemies, proper skill selection. Great game, but I don't think I'm ever going to LP it. Maybe I'll play the DLC one day, if I actually bought the DLC. Because there is a DLC where you play as a minion trying to help the Archdemon destroy the city, and that's actually pretty fun from what I understand. And it's short. I could do an episode of that, but no promises. In fact, it probably won't happen. Anti-promises. This is from Shane Jacksonski, I think. Do you ever plan on doing a FaceTime anytime soon? Because ADK... I don't know what that abbreviation means. ADK because I ask... I really want to know what that abbreviation stands for. I would look it up, but I'm talking right now because I've been trying to piece together what you look like since Rebuild, and I feel like I'm way off. There's probably a good chance you're way off. But the picture in my logo of the green guy who is a zombie, that is a picture of me. Note I have a goatee right now, so I don't really have the beard. That's how my hair looks right now. I usually wear it back in a ponytail, but that is my actual hair. The other icon that I use for Die Tonight, that picture that I used for all of those, that I used to use for my announcement videos, that is also a picture of me. So you got that. But let me see. I'm 5'10", 170 pounds. My hair is halfway between curly and straight and grows in all directions. I have tan skin. Hazily eyes, I think. I actually tried to look up what eye color I have. The best I can tell is hazel. But hazel's a weird description that they, like, put people whose, like, eyes are undeterminable into. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. That's how I look. But, no, I have no intention of doing face cam. ever. I kind of like being identified by a voice. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And for the most part, I don't find that Facecam adds a lot to Let's Plays. So, that's just my preference. And the thing is, you gotta make videos that you yourself want to watch. So I make all of my videos by my own rules, like what I would want to say. And I really couldn't care less about Facecam, so sorry. And I have a feeling I'm going to be splitting this up into parts, mainly just because I've been way more long-winded than I thought I was going to be. But screw it, I'm not going to be short-winded. I only do these, like, once every year or and a half. Blah, 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 blah. Muhammad El Masri. I'm sorry. Ugh. It'd be cool if I could read things based on phonics. But, nothing to ask, just an urge to keep going. Oh. Wait, but I see a question mark in your thing. You must have asked something. But I guess I can throw something in. What is your favorite food and drinks, or your opinion on Cube World? Note, if you've never heard of Cube World, just answer the first one. I think I've heard of Cube World, but I have no opinion on it, because I don't know anything about it. Favorite food and drink. I love pizza. I love sushi. I love sushi pizza, which is a thing my friends invented in high school. You get white pizza, and stay with me, you put California rolls on it. I don't know why it's good. Does it actually enhance each other or complement each other? Not really. It's still good, though. It was just a thing to do. But yeah, those are some of my favorite food. Unfortunately, sushi's really expensive. I rarely get to have it. Drink? I try not to drink soda anymore. Now I drink things that are... Oh, never mind. Chocolate milk. Chocolate milk's my favorite drink. I don't care. I'm not too old to drink it. I love chocolate milk. It is the best drink in existence. Stronwolf? That doesn't say stone, does it? I don't know. Did you just say CrossKnights? I guess instead of CrossKnights? I don't know. It's possible. I don't pronounce things correctly all the time. Assassin7787. Cross, have you ever heard of an RPG called Knights of the Old Republic? Excellent, excellent game. Probably won't end up LPing it. And I don't even know if I can give you a great reason why, but I just don't think I'm going to. Again, there is a lot of talking in cutscenes, not as much as in Dragon Age or anything, but like... I don't know, it's a great game, everyone should play it, but I don't think I'm going to LP it. I have to like an RPG so much that it's ridiculous to do an RPG, by the way. In fact, the idea that I'm probably going to do Final Fantasy VII is insane. I really should stop doing these RPGs, so did I. They just take, like, 6 months to upload. But Super Mario RPG and Lufia weren't too bad, it's just I gotta stay away from ones like Xenogears. That was ridiculous. And this is from Tristan H01. Do you like Batman? Batman is amazing. He is a freaking great superhero. He's much better than goddamn Superman. I do not like Superman. I did see the movie, though, because why not? But, yeah, he's great. And if you want to see why he's really, really great, first of all, one of my favorite cartoons of all time, Batman the Animated Series. It was originally on Fox. Eventually, they sort of continued the series on the WB, which is now the CW. The original series took place almost all the time at night. There was very few times that he was Bruce Wayne. There was very few times that it was daylight. The newer series, it was daylight, like, a lot. It just wasn't as serious. They put a lighter mood. They added the younger Robin, which I actually like that younger Robin as a character, but it did take away from some of the grittiness of the original series. Then Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, which was the same cartoon, it's just once they got to Unlimited, they added like 100 superheroes. Then you see why Batman's amazing. Because of the original 7 people of the Justice League, he's the only one without powers, but he still does amazing stuff and solves problems that none of the other ones could. He sees things that none of the other ones realize. He's just an awesome hero. And he's got ridiculous convictions, and he's just... Oh, God, I love him. He's great. Yeah, so yes, I do like Batman. What is the weirdest thing you've ever seen someone do with a beer can? That is, Bruno A.H. Bruno Ha? I have seen someone make birds out of a beer can. There was an artist that I actually did a report on, and his entire thing was that he turned trash into art. And he made these amazingly awesome birds that he hung up, entirely made out of, like, Coors Light beer cans. And that was his entire thing. It was great. But yeah, that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen anyone do with a beer can. I don't know if that was like a joke question, but I had a real answer for you, because those birds were beautiful. I doubt I can remember... You can remember the artist's name, though, unless I can find the paper that I wrote on him. But if I do, maybe I'll put that in the annotation, because this stuff is worth checking out if you're interested in art. There's not a lot of modern art that I like, or contemporary art that I, like, really gravitate to, but his was great. Okay, Cartoon 765. 43210. Blast off! I added those other numbers. Do you sometimes or ever get unmotivated to make videos? P.S. Grats on almost 5,000 subs. Thank you very much. Yes. And usually that's entirely linked to my sleeping issues. One of the reasons I have to backlog is because I don't like there to be a massive break in my videos. But I think even like a week or two ago, I had a very hard time doing videos. The last time it really happened severely was back in April. Back in April, I had so much trouble recording anything because my sleeping was at an all-time messed up. I couldn't sleep for more than like 3 hours at a time. I was always tired. Always tired. And I knew I just didn't have enough energy to like have my like personality and sound excited about the games I was playing because I was just too tired to be excited. And that usually doesn't work. I mean, sleep deprivation is one thing, because sometimes it probably sounds like I was drunk. I was listening to one of my older videos, and it really sounded like I was intoxicated. But no, I just said it slept. But when I get in that state, I just can't do videos. And sometimes I have no motivation to edit videos. Because it's like, I've already seen this, I don't want to edit it. But yeah, yes. But, usually not for any more than like 2 weeks at a time. However, when I backlog, even if I'm having a messed up sleeping schedule or something happens in my life, there won't be a break in my videos. So hopefully I can keep that system up. American Slime. I've actually, oddly enough, already answered this in a more innocuous question. Why don't you ever use drugs or alcohol? I don't do them either. I'm just curious what led you to that decision. Don't feel obligated to ask if that's too personal whatsoever. That is certainly not too personal. Part of it, I mean, again, I have a really over-exaggerated fear of addiction. Part of it is related to my father. He was into some hard drugs, which definitely, I would never even think about doing some of those. He smoked cigarettes, which is part of the reason I absolutely hate cigarettes, like it messed with my throat. And eventually we basically made it like you can't smoke inside, you have to smoke outside. And he fortunately agreed, because it just bothered me too much. But yeah, that's it. I made a decision when I was extremely young never to do it, and I actually followed through with it. And I just get more and more reinforcement each day that I made the right decision. Like, I don't... let me make this extreme statement right here. If I smoked cigarettes and drank alcohol, I would have run out of money already. I would not be able to afford to live right now. Once I lost my job, I probably would have had to move back in with my mother. Like, that's how much money... Like, I've done the math. That's how much money I saved by not, like, doing some of those things. All of it's fine in moderation. It's just, I can't believe the amount of money that... Like, screw the health effects. I eat terribly. I eat a little bit better than I ate when I was a kid, but I eat absolutely terribly. If you're just doing these things in moderation, of course it doesn't matter. Who cares? But it's just the people that spend, like, you know, $500 a month on it that, like, I don't get. Like, oh, God, like, you can finance a car for that amount. But I'd be lying if I completely understood drug use, if I completely understood why people do it and the reasons, because I haven't done it before. I'm so just thankful that I'm not addicted to one of those damn things and feel the obligation to use it. My only addiction is video games, and lo and behold, I found a way to, you know, actually make that into a really positive thing in my life. Okay, ACISAG6, that might actually be pronounceable. Is it Act Snag? That's an I, not a T. So I don't know. But that's your name. How's life? Life is pretty good right now. I still have off days like anyone does. When my sleeping is messed up, sometimes it actually gets a little bit unnerving, where my mind just doesn't work properly, and I don't like that. I kind of want to get another job, but the jobs that are available I don't want, so I haven't. Like, I don't want another dishwasher job. I don't want a retail job. I had this gardening job for a really short period of time, and then she just said she didn't want me anymore with no explanation, so that really sucked. But that's exactly the type of job I want. I want a job where I'm doing some type of physical labor, possibly outside, for just a little bit of extra cash. I think I'd be happier if I did that. But besides that, everything's good. A friend of mine actually visited from ago, and I had like a great few weeks just because like we were doing stuff. Like, a lot of my friends don't do things anymore. If they ever... Never mind, my friends never did anything. I didn't do anything either, I can't blame them on that. But, and a lot of my other friends have moved away, so... It just kind of... That aspect kind of sucks, but that's what happens when you get older. But all in all, I'm doing a job that I really love doing and I don't hate. That gives me like an edge on almost every single one of my other friends. And on the same issue of getting older, this is from Marzan Muvovic. Oh wow, real names are even harder to read than internet names. How old are you? I am 30 years old, which I'm assuming is older than some people think I am. Because I'm actually on the upper bell curve of LPers, but yeah, I just turned 30 in April. It was actually kind of creepy being 30 for like a week, and then I got over it because nothing was different. When I was a kid, I assumed my life would be a lot more crappy at this point than it is. So, I don't know, things are going pretty well.